Hey, hello everyone. It's Positive Impact for Mind and Body. I am Nicole Fevrier Davis, your psychic trainer. And unfortunately, Love Infinity couldn't make it today. She's been a little busy kind of readjusting to life back in Florida. I just wanted to check in with all of you. I know there's a lot of information out there right now about wellness programs. And I mean, you could literally find anything. From Reiki attunements, which I find interesting because yes, it is an energy, and yes, it does travel, but can you do that like over someone's head? I don't know. We go back and forth. I do have a lot of respect for all the programs that are happening now online. I think it's really important that we maintain or at least discover something that will help us maintain our sanity during this weird COVID time. I think during the time that the vaccines are rolling out, are still kind of tenuous, aren't they? I know personally, I posted recently, and I said in the last podcast how I was reluctant to go back to a gym for obvious reasons. My desires are not my own. I have a family to think about. So if I did bring something home from a gym accidentally, it would be a big deal. Like I'm affecting for 3 or 4 other people. So that was rolling around in my mind when I started looking up, what can you do online? What are those programs available now? And are they really win-win? Some are fantastic programs. Some things are very well represented and are very effective. And then there's the other side of it, which no one's really talking about because they can't. When we are talking about online programs, and mind you, I want to say about half of my business has always been online training because of the fact that I've moved about 5 times since I started doing any kind of fitness training or personal training for people. So it was kind of mandatory for me to be able to have that flexibility to train people online. And now, there's so much available. Excuse me. That we have all of us trainers have really nailed it down. We've turned it into a fine art now. Before it was kind of like sketchy. You either had a connection or you didn't, or someone had Skype but someone else didn't. And now we all have Zoom, and we all have these access and ability to do more and more online. So one of the things, and I'm going to play devil's advocate here, and I'm not really into that, but here's what I'm thinking. So a lot of the personality and schema questionnaires that I've done in the past, I have noticed that there are certain personalities that definitely benefit from being in a group environment. And sometimes, even doing a group Zoom call doesn't really cut it, right? Because you're not experiencing someone else's energy in proximity to your own. You're kind of, it's distant, it's out there. And so I will say that one of the cons is an inability to really create a physical tribe mentality, if that makes sense. So that you are experiencing someone else's energetics, their quick glances, their smiles, their side jokes. All that is kind of like missing in the online learning process. I do know a lot of people who have gathered together and congregated over Peloton. I think that's phenomenal. I also think it's phenomenal when groups who have been experiencing classes and taking yoga or I was just about to say fencing, which is kind of like strange. How would you do fencing at home alone? Anyway, people who've taken yoga regularly with a larger group and then transition to online classes, I think that's an excellent way of maintaining that tribe mentality and enjoying it and benefiting from it, from the endorphin rush, from that ability to kind of connect with people. One of the other cons I have experienced, not just with my own clients, but when I watch certain videos that are trying to convey an exercise the right way with proper form and intention and I want to say acuity in movement, specific types of movement. does not translate well online. So if you've never taken a yoga class before, if you've never taken a Pilates class before, you really have to have someone teaching you online who is very good at what they do. In other words, they can find the visual cues that are going to help you be better, perform better, get more out of the exercise, and not hurt yourself ultimately with proper form. Sometimes I find that little detail, a lot of trainers kind of like skim over, I want to say, and that is not necessarily the safest thing to do when you're conducting an online course. Now, if you are doing online training one-on-one, the biggest issue that I found regarding form is when people are wearing black or dark clothing, they're in a dark room and they're on a dark mat. That is really hard to discern. Okay, is this hip higher than the other? Is she breathing properly? Does her, are her shoulders level and straight? I can't really see. So, just maybe a tip, if you're going to do online training with anyone, try to wear lighter clothing on darker backgrounds. Try to do it in the sunlight. Try to make sure there's as many lamps and lights on in the room as you can possibly manage, because that is going to really help you get what you want out of the training. In an online course scenario, you're not going to get that kind of detailed attention. Does that make sense? You're going to, kind of like be one of a group of people experiencing the same thing at the same time. So in the past, when I've taught group fitness classes in the past, it's been very beneficial to do in person, because then I can go around and look at different people from different perspectives at different times and help coach them and help move them into the right position, or just give them a verbal cue if I see them. Very often in these online courses, you don't have that luxury, because your picture of that person is literally this big if you're going to do an online class together. That Zoom effect really does not lend itself well to distance learning in a group. It's very specific and tight, those pictures. So those are the main things I think are kind of a drawback, even though according to, I think it's Health Magazine, online wellness learning is going to skyrocket and continue to grow throughout 2021, which I do believe. I think that is very accurate and most likely going to be the case. The thing that I want to find out, though, is if you are paying attention to this right now, I'd love to know if you do find yourself seeking, more companionship, more tribe mentality, walking in groups 6 feet apart. I mean, is there a way that you can stimulate, the endorphins, the rush of being in a group, but not necessarily being in a group? I mean, it's just a thing I think that's going to be kind of crucial moving forward if we are online learning in a wellness manner. I know that studies have been done more recently about children and not being in school, not participating in socializing and in a physical way. And I think the same holds true for adults. I don't think anyone stops learning or experiencing or having things affect them, even after high school or college. I see there's stress going on there beyond just the stress of just trying to stay healthy. Trying to stay healthy is one thing, but we also do need that, hug and that cuddle, everyone, that oxytocin rush. I'll learn how to talk one day. And so that being said, if you do have a chance to watch this and you have the opportunity to type in the comments, I will be checking the comments at another time. Like, what do you do personally in order to feel like you're socializing, but not socializing, but maintaining social distance? Or do you have a dedicated group that you walk with all the time with masks on? You know, there are options out there that help people maintain that mental balance as well as the physical balance. So that being said, those are the top things that I find to be kind of cons about, you know, learning online, things that I've experienced and things that mistakes that I've seen other people make as well. But the pros are obvious, right? We're not contaminating each other's space with our germs. And we're not, and very often we're not subject to a specific time frame. You know, if you go to a gym for a class, you have to be there at 9 o'clock. You have to be there by 4 p.m. So very often a lot of these classes are experienced without group Zoom calls online. That's a huge benefit for a lot of people. But I will say again, it's a huge benefit for a lot of people, excuse me, who are pretty well versed in exercise. You know, I like to see beginners get one-on-one attention because they haven't experienced their body in the way that they're going to experience it, say, in one of my Pilates classes or in a strength training class. There are definitive things that you need to structure and be careful about and speak to during the course of a teaching moment if you're trying to teach a new person that. So a new person diving into a yoga class, even if it is, let's say it is beginner, right? Even if it is an online beginner yoga class, I do get a little concerned about their ability to safeguard themselves. Let's put it that way. And so I'm wondering if you are out there and experiencing a beginner yoga class that you find to be that's adequately at your level, and make note of that in the comments also. I'd be interested in hearing that. In any case, one of the things you might want to consider doing, especially if you're researching and trying to figure out where's a good yoga class to take online, who to look for, etc., you might want to try one of the accredited institutions across the United States that certify instructors and make them aware of latest physical practices. And you know, remember that you know, in our business, you don't get certified once. Okay, someone who's been certified by an institution that went out of business 30 years ago is not going to have the same information as someone who's consistently recertifying every other year, along with their CPR certification and AED certification. So you want to maybe tap into, and I'll type them in here. If you're looking for classes and courses, wellness, let's put this, wellness, oops. If you're looking for wellness classes and courses, you might want to check the websites of accredited institutions like my own. I have NASM is an excellent nationally recognized certification group. So is AFA. So is ACE. There's numerous, you know, certification groups. You know, you also may want to contact the Yoga Association for great instructors there. Okay, I spelled it right. So these are just some tips that you want to kind of think about when you're choosing a wellness course or a fitness course or Pilates or yoga course. There's a lot out there, right? There's literally millions of people that you could choose to work out to online. I will say a word of caution again, maybe one of the cons that I should have added in the beginning is that you want to make sure that these people are certified, that they have a history of teaching and they know what they're teaching. You will find everyone and their brother, right, saying, oh, I've taken yoga. I can make a course out of this. I should do this. What you want to find are those designations after their name, right? So if they're RYT yoga instructors, they have 200 or 500 hour certifications. People like myself, I have certification after certification after certification. And in fact, after 30 years of taking certifications, last year was the first year I did not recertify because I was too busy. But but that being said, like I said, I've had years and years and years of certifications. The other thing you want to pay attention to is their style. If you are taking a class from someone that you cannot resonate with, if you don't like their voice, if there's something that tweaks you about their personality, you may want to consider looking around a little bit more. And it's not to say that there's anything wrong with that. It's just to say that, if you're going to stick with it, you might as well love that person that you're watching, right? You might as well fall in love with them and be totally enthralled every time they're online with you. So that has a lot to do with it too. But I warn you, and this is just a little warning. Just going with anyone online might be a mistake. You want to make sure they're well educated, they have a history, they're experienced more than 3 or 4 years, maybe. Unless you have a private consultation with them and you feel very comfortable with them, that's fine. But in a group setting, you really want someone who's like a Hawkeye. They used to call me Hawkeye when I worked in television, because I always found all the mistakes and I was able to correct them before it became an issue. The same goes true with teaching and training people. You want to have someone who has that kind of a Hawkeye that can call out, okay, your hips aren't balanced. You didn't ground yourself when you did this, or whatever it is, whatever the case may be. So find someone you like, lots of experience in the history, by an accredited association, certified by an accredited association. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time saying that today, but those are really, really going to be very important for you in your wellness journey moving forward. I would also recommend journaling. And a lot of people don't make this connection. They feel like, oh, I put in the time. Journaling and stretching, honestly, are two huge ones that no one really takes into consideration. Like if you're doing a strength training class, and a lot of the classes like on YouTube or what are the other ones? I forget some of the other ones. A lot of the learning classes do incorporate stretch. Stick around, do the stretch. Don't just get through the Tabata, the interval training, the strength training, and then click, okay, moving on. Do the stretch. When you're in a class environment, if you were my student, I had the opportunity to say, oh, wait, come here. That was kind of stressful for you. I think you need, just give me 3 minutes and do this stretch, and that really does have that peer pressure. Remember, we talked about peer pressure a little bit in affirmations on Tuesday. That peer pressure also works a little bit when it comes to doing the right thing at the right time. So be mindful, drink a lot of water, do your stretches, and journal. And the reason why I say journal is because it's hard for you to materialize or put into a physicality if you're not losing weight, if you don't have a specific goal like weight loss, or I want to gain 3 inches of muscle in my bicep. Then it's very hard to quantify whether or not you're doing well. So a lot of exercise programs, not only do they help you physically get better, stronger, more flexible, have better endurance, but emotionally things are happening, right? Again, it's the show for positive impact for mind and body. So if you are journaling about how you feel on day 1 and see how you feel on day 30, I would be willing to bet that you're pretty happy by day 30. Just saying. So those things are going to really help you not just feel better in the moment, but you're going to be able to reflect back. It's like taking a snapshot, which is the other thing I would recommend. Take a screenshot of where you are in the beginning and a screenshot where you are at the end, and just see the subtle differences over time and figure out, is it, for me, I have my students and my clients give a value to things. So on day one, we're seeking what your goal is and what value you give it. So if, let's say it's a weight loss goal, right? Day one, you want to lose 15 pounds, let's say. And in your mind, how do you feel about it right now? One being the easiest thing on earth to do. It's just, I need to apply myself. That's it. To 10, I have no effing clue how to get to this point where I'm going to lose 15 pounds. I haven't tried it. I feel lethargic. I don't have any motivation. Sitting and doing a Zoom on an exercise program is the last thing I want to do. The last thing I want to do is go on keto. You name it, whatever it is. It could be 10. Like, it's the worst thing on earth that you have ever attempted to do, and you don't want to do it now. So give it a physical value, and then check in with yourself in a week, in 2 weeks, in 3 weeks, and see if that value changes to, this was a snack. This was no problem. I was, surprised at how easy it was. It was a 1 or a 0. I had 0 problems doing this program. So, and then I attained my goal. So just keep those things in mind as you're doing some online learning. I know that I'm publishing a book. I'm not publishing a book. I'm writing a book proposal right now about what you can do at home in order to not just be healthy in body, but what your soul wants for your mind and body. And I hope to roll that out as a course later this year. But in the meantime, I still have Be a Body Psychic, and it is still, I want to say, the cornerstone of online learning to all of your goals. Any physical goal, any emotional goal, any mental goal, because your subconscious mind is going to inform you of the best route to take. So for instance, I said, do a little research, find out which institutions have, teachers that have been recertified for more than, 6 years or 4 years. Then you have that body of information, but you also can drop that in one of the visualizations I teach is dropping the ball, put it into the ball, drop it into your body and see where it falls. The response that ball has to being dropped into your body will tell you whether or not it's a good choice for you. And that's even more effective than a pendulum, tarot cards, or anyone else psychically reading your energy, because they don't understand you, your soul, and how it's going to interconnect with the thing you're thinking about doing. So I hope I made that clear. That was kind of like convoluted, but I had a couple of distractions. So if you're interested in either my Be a Body Psychic course, or you just want the body scan, you want to check it out. Ooh, what's that like? My own version of the body scan, you could text body-mind, and I think it's all lowercase at that point, to 33777, and you will get a direct link to the body scan visualization. So this is beautiful music by Paul Avgerinos. He's a very famous wellness and meditation musician. He actually won an award, I think it was like 3 years ago, for Best New Age Artist. And then my voice leading you through a visualization that will help calm your mind and body, but also allow yourself to be open to all the messages your body needs you to know and understand. And that may actually be messages regarding how to go about staying healthy and well and fit with an online course. So keep all that in mind as you're making these choices, and I'm sure that you will come to some really great inspired ideas about how to do that. Enjoy that body scan. And again, let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to put in the comments all the things that we were talking about, whether or not you're going to endeavor to do an online course, fitness training or wellness course, or if you're interested in any of the other accredited associations that provide certifications for instructors that are offering these courses. You really want to go with someone who's certified. You don't want to go with someone who's just like really good at it, you know, have been at it for like 2 years. I get that a lot. Oh, I've been at it for 2 years, so I'm going to teach. Yeah, it doesn't work that way, actually. So anyway, good luck and enjoy your mind and body. And hopefully I will see you with Love Infinity on Tuesday next week. Thank you. Bye.